Today we're going to have a quick overview of the new Vertex painting functionality that will be available in the next release. So similar as the Vertex sculpting, first step is to simply select an object, and now under the paint we are going to be able to select Vertex paint, and right away we got our marker that is snapping through our geometry. So it worked very similar as the Vertex sculpting tool. We have here a bunch of mode for our brushes, and in an example we can change the color here and start accumulating. If I lower down the radius here, and holding shift, just like Vertex sculpting, will directly simulate that we are using the erase brush here. We're having a bunch of other functionality that are part of the brush. Most of them take color into consideration. We got a primary color and a secondary color, an alternate color that can be toggled using the control key. Once again, just erase or simply use the version slider to go back or forward to the version that interests us. And we're having also another type of brush. So most of them are blending brushes. And we have here for color only RGB, we got alpha only. And we got also these guys here that does not operate with a color. If in example, let's increase the strength a bit. We are going to switch now to the smear brush. The smear brush doesn't use any color, but we still have access to the radius and the strength. And this is going to allow us to be able to smear our painting directly on our model. We also have, if I go back one notch here and I select now the smooth, same procedure, we can now smooth the vertex color. In addition, we have access to a multiple color layer. By default, this guy here only have one. We can add multiple one. And if we are using the default color shader that it's here, we could have always modify our PBR shader here to use a different vertex color layer. But for visualization convenience, we can simply click and generate one. And based on the layer that we select, we can start painting on it. If I turn back to mix, and by changing here, I can switch which color layer I'm going to actually paint on. We also have a bunch of color operator that can be used. So in example, we got fill that is going to fill the primary or alternate color. If I hold control and click execute, now I got my vertex, all the vertex color on my selected layer will turn in. If I run it on the red here, which was my primary color, and then I can switch and do some different operation. We got invert, soften that is going to run a blur pass. We can also change the level. If I select one that is actually colored, like this one here, I can directly change the level in real time and have a direct feedback on it. I can also have a brightness contrast, use saturation, and I also have the cavity gradient that is going to allow me to simulate those kind of edge wear effect and directly blend it in the Vertex paint. So if I select this cube here, which also have a PBR material, the default PBR material that it's imported when you're importing, in example, a GLTF file. And if I switch to cavity gradient and I process it, we can now see, we cannot see clearly here. Let me switch the color first. Let me fill it and to using the black here, I'm going to select that layer and execute it. And now if I run my cavity gradient, we're going to see using the primary color, we're going to see that now it detects all the edges. This is really useful for creating flow maps or edge wear effect. If I switch it to a full white like this and run it again, and I can also use the soften to run a few blur on it. So like that, I got something that it's more progressive. And now in my vertex shader, fragment shader code, I can code this edge wear effect by blending two materials together. We also have the fall off that work exactly the same way as the Vertex sculpting tool if I select another color. So we got access to a bunch of presets, same preset that we got in Vertex sculpting. And we can also go on custom and create a custom fall off, just like this. If I start painting now using my custom fall off, we can see that it's creating that kind of pattern as I click it in, just like that. We also have the option to select the method to be triangle, which is going to interpolate. By default, it is set to vertex. So as you can see, it actually snaps to the nearest vertex on my geometry while I am painting. And triangle give us a smoother interpolation while painting based on your preferences. But when we go outside of the geometry, using the triangle mode, the cursor will simply disappear. If we're using vertex, it allows us to really snap at an edge, which is probably what you want while vertex painting. So it is just simply more convenient to paint that way. And that is concluding the overview of our new vertex painting functionality.